Hello friends, this video will show you how to graph a polynomial on the Texas Instruments Inspire calculator, find the zeros, local maximums, minimums, and any other points that you'd like to find on the function. It's a problem from a pre-calculus book, and I'm going to do problem number 45. The last part here, D, says use a graphing utility to graph the function and verify your answers. So I will first open my calculator. Make sure you use a document, not the sketchpad, and then open a graph page. I'd like to immediately hit menu 2, 6, 3. So this is view, 6 is grid, and 3, and put the grid on so I can see the points. And then I will enter the function. Now, thing to notice that in the problem, this is g of t, and on this calculator, g of t is going to be f1 of x. That'll be important in a bit. So I'm going to use the variable x to the 5th power. Make sure you hit the right arrow to get out of that exponent. Minus 6x caret to the 3rd power. Right arrow to get out of the exponent. Plus 9x. I hit enter, and there's my graph. And if you were doing this on a handheld, you'd be using this with the touch, and you can grab a hold of any of the labels and move them. I'm going to move this out of the way. So here we have number 45. This is g of t in the book, but it's f1 of x on the calculator. So first thing I'm going to do is find these zeros. To analyze the graph, menu key, 6 is analyze graph, number 1 is find the zero. So the first thing you'll see is you have this marker. You can only find one zero at a time, and it's asking you right here for the lower bound. So you can click this anywhere to the left or right, doesn't matter, of the zero you want. And when you click it, it'll ask for the upper bound. You see I get the shaded region. And once I cross someplace where there's a 0 and hit enter, there is the 0. So I have the 0 here at negative 1.73. I can see visually I have a 0 here and probably 1 here too. So I do the same thing. Menu, 6, 1. So I have a menu at the, obviously since this is an odd function, I'm going to have a 0 at the origin. And one more time. So notice I can go and I can just hit the number 6, 1, or I can navigate through the menu either way. 0, and here's the last one. So let's get these. All right, so let's find some local minimums. Right here, menu, 6 is analyze graph, number 2 is minimum. Same deal. I'm going to click that line somewhere on one side of the minimum. And there it is. So that's the local minimum. Looks like I have another local minimum here. Might be 0. Let's see what that is. Menu, 6, 2. Oh, it's the same point. So I can just undo, because I know that this point is the same as that 0. And I got a maximum right here. So menu, 6, 3 is a maximum. Again, click on one side and drag across. And there's your maximum. Now let's say I had to sketch this on a piece of graph paper and I wanted to get some additional points besides the mins, maxes, and zeros. I can do a couple of things. The first is I can, while I'm in the graph screen, I can hit menu, table, 7, 1, split screen table. And now I get a list of all the values for this graph, and I can just plot these points. So the point -1, -4, 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 2. 3 and 108 be tough to get on, but it's there if you want it. To get rid of the table, you go back to menu, table, and number 1, 2 is table, 1 is remove table, and it's gone. Now additionally, let's say on this question they said find g of 96. I can add a calculator screen, and before I do this, let's notice that this g of t is f1 of x. So I hit Control plus page, and I'm going to add a calculator page. And so I'm going to put F1, that's the G, of 96. So there you go. So the point 96 in this big number is also a spot on this graph.